Hi guys, it's Danny here. Today's video is going to be different from the usual. So I wanted to talk about my experiences with narcolepsy. I was actually diagnosed just last Tuesday when I went to my neurologist, and after so many appointments and almost 2 years of trying to get help, I was finally diagnosed with narcolepsy. I kind of figured this out on my own after a while, but it took me a long time to figure it out. You see, all my troubles started back in late November of 2018, shortly after I turned 21, maybe a little before that. I remember feeling really, really tired, and I'm not a tired person usually. I mean, I'll be kind of tired, but this was a different type of tired. It was almost permanent. And I remember thinking, okay, well, maybe I just need a break from work for a bit, because call volumes were getting heavy and I wasn't able to get any vacation time soon. So I figured it was just that, maybe I was just tired from work. Then I started kind of nodding off a bit, and that's not like me. I'm never been that type of person. I'm usually one to stay wide awake. I mean, I'll yawn if I'm sleepy, but that's about it. Well, December 2018 comes along and I'm still feeling tired. And I'm starting to think, okay, I don't think feeling this tired over a month is normal. I thought at first it was just chronic fatigue syndrome. I think that's what it's called. Well, then January 2019 comes along, and that's when the attack started. My attack started with me losing memory during calls. Again, that's not usually like me at all. So I was starting to get kind of concerned because I thought, okay, there's gaps in my memory. I'm basically blacking out. But I didn't really start getting concerned until one time one of the supervisors actually found me with my head down, and she got after me, basically. And I was really embarrassed about it because like I've said before, I'm not the type of person to doze off at work. I thought, okay, maybe something's definitely off. Maybe, like I said, chronic fatigue, that could be it. So months went by and I started having more of these episodes of me blacking out, losing memory at work. So I didn't start to consider actually seeing a doctor until one day my supervisor phoned me. He listened in on the call, and he heard me messing up my words, and he got concerned. So he came over to check out what was going on, and he found me basically passed out at my desk. I had my head down again, and I was slurring my words. When I have these episodes, I tend to continue my tasks automatically, and he found me like in the middle of an episode, but of course neither of us knew what was going on at the moment. And I was super embarrassed about it. And that's when I thought, okay, this is definitely not normal. So I set up an appointment with my primary care physician. Well, the day of the appointment comes along and no help. He basically dismissed it as a psychiatric problem. And I thought, okay, well, maybe it is a psychiatric problem. So I go for that, but they didn't even focus on that part. They ended up focusing on other issues, but nothing was solved. And I waited a few months because I kept dismissing it as a psychiatric issue. I thought, okay, maybe that doctor was right. Maybe it's like, it couldn't be narcolepsy or something like that, because I'm not passing out anywhere but work, right? Well, my episodes and symptoms slowly start getting worse. And then sometime around late 2019, early 2020, I had a lot of stress come on in my life at once. And this kind of triggered my symptoms to be significantly worse. First of all, my grandmother died, and then my mom got sick and she was going in and out of the hospital for a while. And when my grandmother died, we ended up moving into her house, and I got to stay in the little one. Long story, but I'm not going to go into it too much. And all of the stress kind of just came down on me all at once, and this is when my attacks started getting really bad. And I think that's around the time the cataplexy started becoming more regular. This went really quick from being just really sleepy in the daytime to the attacks that I was having at work and the memory gaps to now my head just full on dropping. It's like I would pass out at my desk daily, and this was getting ridiculous. It was really messing me up at work. I remember just having days where I couldn't even remember half my morning because I just kept feeling my head just drop, and I didn't know what was causing it. And I thought, okay, this is definitely not normal. So I went back to see that same doctor, and he still insisted that it was probably a psychiatric issue when I clearly mentioned that I've been passing out at work and it's getting me in trouble and it's causing me to mess up on my performance. So after that, I thought, okay, you know what, I'm just going to switch primary physicians. So after that, I just thought, okay, you know what, I'm switching clinics because over here, they're clearly not going to help me. Actually, correction, I wasn't a primary care physician, I was a physician's assistant. But anyways, so I set an appointment with another PCP, hoping that this time I'll get actual help. And then that same day, I get called into my manager's office. They basically got after me for my low performance and how bad I've been doing. So they wanted to know what was going on, clearly. And I told them, okay, you know what, I'm having this issue where I'm pretty much blacking out every day. They're like, okay, you can't work like this. I got placed on FMLA. And it was at the same time that Corona started. So here I am, in the middle of at the beginning of a pandemic. I can't go to work. It's unpaid medical leave. Like, great, what am I gonna do now? So I spent about a month waiting for that appointment. Of course, it's a pandemic. You can't do walk-ins anymore. So I'm just stuck here waiting. So the day of the appointment comes, although before that I did manage to go to an urgent care. They did do some blood tests and told me I have hypothyroidism and vitamin D deficiency. Gave me some stuff for that, but that didn't solve the issue either. And same thing with the PCP. They basically addressed that, but told me to go back if my symptoms got worse. So I went back, and my symptoms didn't improve at all. I was still passing out at my desk. I was still having the head drops. I was still having the attacks, the memory gaps. And to top it all off, I start hallucinating now too. Anyways, my hallucinations aren't that bad. It's usually just I see the cats. Sometimes I swear up and down that I received a message or a comment or sent a message, but I didn't. It's been happening a lot more, and I'm starting to have like false memories. I could swear it just happened, but it didn't. It's just a hallucination. The cataplexy started becoming more regular, and I started tracking my symptoms. I noticed they happen more at certain times of the day. Finally, I called up my PCP after my symptoms didn't improve at all. They made me up an appointment really quick, and so I go see her, and I mention how now I'm having the head drops, the hallucinations. So she tells me, okay, we're going to refer you to a neurologist and see if they can rule you out for seizures and see what's going on. So I called the neurologist that she referred me to, and they scheduled me for an EEG and a consultation. I got the EEG done first, and that took a little longer than I thought it would, but it wasn't that bad. They put these wires all over my scalp and then had me sleep on a recliner, or at least try to go to sleep. So it was a little hard for me at first, but then next thing I know, my body feels all fuzzy, kind of like you do in sleep paralysis, but not as scary. I knew I wasn't in sleep paralysis, I could move. It's just I started getting that fuzzy, tingly feeling without even realizing that when I'd gone into that state. And then they flashed these lights in my eyes with them closed to see if I would react, and I didn't react. So after about 2 weeks, I get a call from the neurologist, and they tell me that they want to do a 72-hour EEG now. So they schedule that, and finally my consultation, which was just last week, comes along. The doctor asks me everything that's been going on. I tell him every single symptom I have, all the little things, the head drops, the sleep attacks, the hallucinations, the sleep paralysis, the memory gaps, me slurring my words, having a really hard time staying awake throughout the day, how much it's been interrupting my life, everything. And so he looks at all the symptoms after he wrote them down. He takes one look at the symptoms and says, well, something along the lines of, looking at this constellation of symptoms here, it appears that you have narcolepsy. And I wasn't surprised. Like, at this point, it's so obvious. It's so blatantly obvious. And yet, I still have some of my own relatives telling me, straight up denying, even after several medical professionals have told me the same thing. I still, to this day, have relatives telling me that no, it's not narcolepsy. They're just trying to get your money. Da, da, da. Like, how are you supposed to know? Who are you to tell me that I don't have narcolepsy? It's so blatantly obvious. Maybe they haven't seen it because I don't get my episodes as bad at home, but at work. But by now, a lot of my coworkers have seen me how I get at work. It's so blatantly obvious. And what irritates me about having this condition is how little understanding people have of it. There's so many misunderstandings about narcolepsy, and it frustrates me because people think it's a funny condition. It's not. It's terrifying. Try having cataplexy, for instance. I know when my head is going to drop. It happens mostly when I'm really stressed or really tired, especially when I'm really tired. And the moments when my head drops and I get paralyzed are some of the most terrifying. Constant sleep paralysis is terrifying. I wouldn't wish this upon anybody. I honestly wish people that had more of an understanding of narcolepsy. I wish I didn't have people telling me, oh, you just need better sleep habits. It's not narcolepsy. Oh, it's because you stay up too late. Like, no, it's none of that. I've been doing those things for years, and I never had those symptoms before. Who are you to tell me what's wrong with me? So, that's what's been going on with me. I'm thinking of starting a Narcolepsy Diaries series just to let you guys know what it's really like to live with this condition. I know I have a CT scan coming up this Tuesday. I'm kind of nervous about it, but I just know that they really want to rule out the seizures. The 72-hour EEG still, so I'll try to make a vlog about that experience. And what else? The MSLT. I'm getting an MSLT done to really make sure what's been going on. So I guess I'll keep you guys updated on that. If you've watched this long, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and it means a lot to me that you're actually listening to what I have to say about narcolepsy and how it's affected my life. Also, sorry I look a little crusty right now. It's been a long day. I had work, and then I did a stream, and then I really wanted to make this video for World Narcolepsy Day. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to me talk about this condition. I know a lot of people don't really have a good understanding of it, and I want to help show what it's really like. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.